All right, it's finally happening. This is happening right now. Hey everybody, just in case you just stumbled across this YouTube channel, this is JeffandAdamBuildaZenith. I am Adam. My father, also known as Jeff, and I are building a Zenith 750 Cruzer kit airplane. And we have a UL Power 350 IS engine on here. And we started this project about a year ago. Here it is. Here's our airplane. Doesn't look like much right now, but once we put wings on this baby. So I thought, what better time to go through our logbook and actually total up all the numbers, because we've been writing down pretty much all the hours worked. I mean, there were some times when we just forgot about it or whatever, but this should give you a pretty good idea of how many hours it took to get to where we are in this plane. And I don't know, I'm kind of scared because it might be like a lot of hours, but it probably will be a lot of hours. So anyway, okay. Let's see, do I have a pen? I have a pen. Woo, I got a pen. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this here and add up all the numbers, and we'll see how it turns out. Boom! Now I got to total up all of the page totals, and then we'll get our grand total. Ooh. Counting today, right up until today, we're going to add 12. Boom! Wow, look at that. So we get 504 hours. That's a lot of hours, but it's not as many hours as I kind of thought that it would be. Now here's the thing. When we're talking about actually like the hours involved in building, there's a big difference between hours spent actually, working on the sheet metal and drilling holes and stuff, and the hours that you're going to spend in all the prep time. So we spent hours and hours and like a long time. I mean, hour-wise, I'm not totally sure, but it was about 3 months or so that we did just prep time, getting the garage ready, and I think I have videos about that in the shop tour. I mentioned that, how we got the garage ready. We didn't need to do all of the things that we did. Like we painted the garage so it would be brighter, better to work in. We installed lighting. That was super important. Rearranged everything, cleaned stuff out, figured out where we were going to put all the stuff, and then that was all prep just to even get the airplane parts. But then, even now, like yesterday, I spent at least 3 hours just researching EFISs and EMSs and trying to figure out how to get our engine sensors hooked up, and then like what do we want to do for the panel, and like researching and then going through like all these different price estimator things and looking at different quotes. So that's all going to be involved, that like you're going to have to do it. So that's what I want to make sure that is that we did about 500 hours of work basically in the garage, but then there's a lot more involved in terms of the prep and the research. Research is huge. You might spend hours just going over the plans and trying to figure stuff out, and then also, not to mention, if you mess up a part, that's going to take more time to get a new part shipped back in, or you got to make phone calls and ask questions or whatever. And of course, we wouldn't want to forget that the home built help videos, which is basically they're basically the best instruction that you can get for actually building the Zenith. The problem is that they're still not like perfect instructions, so I should say, so the guy named John has makes videos, and they're called Home Built Help, and he basically goes through the entire process of building the Zenith. Now, it's unofficial, so it's like he's just basically saying, this is how I built mine, but, you know, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. And so you have to get used to that, but you got to watch all those videos too, and it moves at a pretty slow pace. You can actually kind of double the speed if you can on your DVD player, and you can pretty much get all the information as well. But hey, John, if you're watching this, thank you. Even though those videos are kind of annoying sometimes, like just usually because I'm frustrated because the part isn't working, I appreciate you making those videos, because that must take a lot of patience to be able to film all that stuff that you're doing, you know, as much as you are. So, but you have to sit down and watch those videos and really study it and try to understand it. So there's just so much that goes into additionally just the hours put into this. Now, so we're at about 500 hours right now, and we're about, it's hard to say. It's hard to say if we're halfway there or not, because it's not like a linear kind of thing of where it's like, well, you know, every part goes as fast as every other part. It's not like that at all. I would say we are halfway, if not more than halfway. I feel like we're it's kind of hard to say, because we've got a lot of the main stuff. We got the main fuselage, we got the engine hooked up, it's on wheels, but at the same time we still have the wings, we still have all of the electrical wiring, the fuel plumbing, the whole tail section we have to redo, improve the tail section for our engine, or at least that was suggested anyway, and we want to be on the safe side, so we're going to do that. So like, I think we still have a long ways to go, but I think we are kind of on the downhill slope now, so that's good. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was another 500 hours of work going into all this stuff. Now the good news is, see, the next plane that I build, if I built another one of these, or maybe the STOL version of the Cruzer, which I would really like, it would probably take me half the time to build it, just because I know how the process works. I've done a ton of the research, and it's just the most important part, the knowledge part, and the experience with you getting used to how all these things work, and just how the sheet metal procedures and that sort of thing. Having done it already, it would just go way faster next time. But that's the way it goes. Well, there you go. I hope that was helpful for you if you're building or thinking about building. I don't want to make it sound like it's super intimidating, but it is super intimidating, and you really want to know what you're doing if you want to start building and have a good chance at success. Because there were times when I was thinking like, oh, what have I gotten myself into, you know, and how do I get myself out of it? Well, I'm going to build my way out of it, as it turns out. But yeah, if you're not expecting, and that's the big thing, if you're not expecting it to be as hard as it is or take as many hours as it does, it's going to be a big shock. So hopefully this will give you a better understanding of what you might be getting yourself into. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.